morning, good morning. Alright, I got 8:25 on the clock, so about 5 minutes till market open. Um, Yesterday did not finish how I fully anticipated. 'Cause, we remember there was the CPI release yesterday, so we had that 300 point, push in about 5 minutes. At 8 a.m. yesterday. Um, there was definitely concern that we could retrace the whole move. It actually looks like we might have. We almost retraced it. Um, so here's the CPI right here. Um, yeah, almost, basically did retrace the whole move actually. We popped out of it right at that prior level of support, and we made new highs on the day. So we're sitting at 13,487 on the Nas currently. We're currently sitting right at this prior level of resistance, so it's a pretty strong area right here. So will be interesting to see how it reacts here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a bounce, but I mean the way things are going, markets are trending upward. Uh, Very strong uptrend, this pretty much this whole month. So that is some excellent news. I think the ES is pretty much. I think the ES is sitting like right at a level of support as well, or resistance. It actually cracked through that prior level of resistance, and we're sitting at this level. Yeah, the same level of support on the ES, or excuse me, same level of resistance on the ES. So, um, yeah, good shit. I think it's safe to say that the recession's over. Inflation has been solved, 100%, which is kind of a joke. Let me go ahead and fix this really quick for myself. Make sure I didn't just okay, cool. Looks alright to me. So, like I said, this is going to be recorded and posted on YouTube. Eventually, I'll care a little bit more I shouldn't say care a little bit more. I'll have more time available to commit to video editing and whatnot. The YouTube videos are going to be roughly 45 minutes to an hour long, pretty much every day for the time being. And I mean, we're just gonna have to deal with that for the time being. But that being said, everything is at True 2. That's 7 U's on True, TRUUUUUU2. If you want to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Twitch. I didn't, like I said, I started doing this just for family and friends. There's obviously the donation tab at the bottom. Hopefully we see something come through on there to help out Mama Bear, but I'm also starting to see the potential for channel growth, and honestly, I've been pretty consistent doing this pretty much every morning for 5-6 months now. I took a couple weeks off during the summer, but I've been very consistent since I started doing this. So I'm just gonna say if I can turn something into a stream, or if I can make something out of the stream, if I can make something out of a YouTube channel, then by all means I'm gonna try to do it. So yeah. Market's opening in 30 seconds. Best of luck to everyone. If you are trading the markets, good luck to you. If you're just watching, please feel free to hit that follow button. Donation tab is below. It's like somewhere in the chat. I don't actually know where it is. I think you have to click on chat, and then you just scroll down, and it's like this big red button, right? All right, market open just now. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. I mean, we're sitting above volume right now, right at market open, so We did just barely crack that prior high. So yeah, some good sellers come in, you know, right before market open. So how much easier this is to see now that we don't have a 300-point candle like sitting just right behind it. So I do thoroughly enjoy that. Pull back into volume and see if we get a good flush out of this. And we did. Alright, so quick little start to the morning. Up about 80 bucks already. So opening candle. Welcome to the other person that just joined. Opening candle, pretty much just sitting right at volume still. Hasn't moved much. I mean, we're sitting with it. I mean, this is like a 20-point opening range so far, which is very, very mild. See if we can get a good break up here above volume. Yeah, probably not. My opinion there was that if it broke it twice, then it would probably continue through, but I wasn't really looking, I wasn't looking for it to bounce off that, that's for sure. Keeping an eye on the ES, it's sitting below, that's sitting below volume right now. Getting a lot of pullback right now on the NAS back into volume. Let's see if we can get the push out of it. Keeping an eye on the ES here, watching the volume. Got a lot of sellers coming in, so I'm not really feeling the most comfortable right now in this position. But we're being patient here, seeing what happens. A lot of this is just waiting and seeing. Don't be too reactive as to, you know, it's easy to react to being in the red. So if the ES cracks these lows, though, we probably got to get out. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and kill that now. So there you go. That's the first losing move that I've had on stream. So it's bound to happen eventually. Down 540 on the morning, no big deal. Let's say we're never really not exactly planning on this being a win 100% of the time kind of stream, so that's okay. I shouldn't have placed that move anyway. That wasn't really the most well thought out move. So got this move down to VWAP. We do typically get a bounce out of these, especially off the opening candle, so I'm going to kind of anticipate a bit of a push out of this. But we do have the ES sitting there, hasn't quite cracked volume yet, or hasn't quite made it down to VWAP yet, so maybe that's cause for concern, but, whatever. We need to have a good losing day just so people don't think that it's 100% winners on the channel, so that's just not the case. It's not the reality of it. There you go. It's a quick little push up above volume. Let's see if we can get that to fill. But no, I'm not going to fill. All right. Let's say I wouldn't mind just kind of getting this little push up into volume again, but you gotta be a little bit cautious with this. So yeah, we're just looking. We're looking for about 7 points. So I did expand it a little bit. See if we can get the move back into like the 70s and the 80s, but I mean, it's typically kind of response that you get out of these VWAP bounces anyway, so but it's not quite getting the push that I'd hoped for. So keeping an eye on the ES here. The ES had a really nice wick test there, so I am actually going to go ahead and just kill that. I think it probably will get filled, but the ES had a really good push back into volume right at that prior wick and then bounced out of it, so that's I'd say that's enough for me to go ahead and kill that. So I mean, we ended up getting like 5 points on that. Yeah, just under 5 points. So quick little $100 move, no biggie. Got us a little bit back from that first little blunder that we had. So, but we're watching the ES potentially on this move back down to VWAP, which means I would expect the NAS to follow with it. So, let's see. It looks like the stream's actually holding up today. That's good. Yeah, the ES is just rejecting right off that prior wick, right at the base of the volume. So if we get this move up to the volume on the NAS, I'm considering taking the short. Let's say sellers look pretty good on both the NAS and the ES. We're moving back into volume over here on the ES. Got that push up into volume on the NAS. We're sitting right in that, coming up on opening range. So yeah, and there's that move back into 80s I was talking about. It's just, it's taking a little bit longer than I had anticipated. So seeing how the NAS reacts up here whenever it hits volume. Seeing if the ES agrees with it or not. We're going to go ahead and put in the short down here in the ES. We're going to keep it pretty tight for the most part. No, I'm liking the rejection at volume so far. And I mean, if it breaks through, there's always that chance, obviously, but I'm liking the rejection so far. We're just going to kind of make these little plays over here on the NAS while to see if waiting to see while anything develops. So NAS looks like it's wanting to break above volume here. ES sitting right at volume, so we're not too terribly concerned yet. Let's say we're going right back to those prior highs. Let's see if we kind of get the bounce out of it again. But I'm thinking I'm not totally. I don't think we're at cause for concern quite yet. See how the delta's looking. I think delta's looking pretty good for the most part. That just got one order filled on the NAS. Let's see if we can get the ES to fill as well. I mean, we're just sitting right at volume again on the NAS, so but I think Delta's looking pretty good here. Pretty good sellers, not a ton of buyers. I mean, there are some buyers coming in, but we're gonna be kind of patient with this. We can't be too patient, obviously. NAS just ripped, so ES went right back into volume, bounced out of it again. NAS, I wouldn't be surprised to see it move up into the 20s after it cracked through the 80s like that, though. So the ES trade might be looking slim right now. So we'll see how everything plays out. But we got some good buyers coming in on the ES, which is a little bit worrisome. But we did get good rejection there at the prior highs. So we're sitting like right at this area of resistance here. So ES has not cracked volume yet. Just made a little baby high. There you go. It's got a little bit back over here on the NAS. We're really just making like these little scout plays over here on the NAS to see if it kind of allows us a little bit more wiggle room on the ES while everything's developing. But let's see what happens down here. Obviously, like if we get wrecked on the NAS and the ES at the same time, that would be big unfortunate. But yeah, imagine that happening. Heck, this could be the move right here where we get actually absolutely wrecked on both of them, so who knows? NAS looks like, yep, just got that fill on the NAS. ES is pushing back below volume. That was a really good close for me on both the NAS and the ES. Oh, I just missed that one too. NAS is pushing back towards volume. Let's see if the ES follows. Like I said, I'm keeping this. I might honestly tighten this up a little bit just to those prior lows, but we got that move back to volume over here on the NAS, so see if we can get this push back to VWAP over here, and then see if see if the ES follows with it. We haven't gotten a ton of movement so far on the ES, so. I'm getting a good push out of volume on both of them right now, so. But that's to be expected. ES is flipping green. Got a good buy up again on the ES. NAS is coming back to those prior highs. Or sorry, it's coming back into volume, but really waiting and seeing what's happening over here on the ES before we start reacting. But we're sitting at volume over here on the NAS. Let's see how the sellers are looking again. The immediate term, I mean, sellers are looking pretty good still, so I'm not overly worried, but I'm a little worried. Like, I'm not like freaking out yet, but like I'm, at least concerned. So just waiting and seeing what's happening. NAS is cracking volume again. Waiting to see what happens here on the ES, but I imagine we might have to kill this one over here. Haven't quite broken those prior highs yet on the ES, so. And, I'm still just really liking the sellers on the NAS, honestly. I mean, we got some buyers coming back in, but I mean, we got this divergence at least, so. Finally broke those prior highs on the ES. Kind of waiting to see how this plays out over here, so. NAS is over here just being a dog. So far, this is not looking good for me, but that's okay. ES buyers look really strong right now, which is unfortunate. The NAS, I mean, NAS Delta still looks good. So we are trying to be patient, but I don't want to be too patient, I guess. So we're getting this move. We're going back down into volume. Just waiting and seeing what's happening. So. Some sellers coming back in. I mean, notice like price, I don't know, price made new highs, but Delta didn't. That's kind of what I'm talking about when I say divergence. So I'm a little bit worried about the possibility of this pushing out of volume after kind of tracing back, but we'll see how this plays out. If I mean, I like the rejection at that prior high, at least on both of them. Um, it's not like the worst sign in the world for me. That being said, I'm not feeling too terribly optimistic about this position that we're in. We got this push move back into volume on the NAS. Let's see if we can get a little bit of momentum going downward. We got that bounce out of volume again. Let me go ahead and kill this one over here. Yeah, I'm not liking that bounce out of volume there. See how it reacts over here at the prior highs. Good bounce off the prior highs. Like I said, I'm not like to the point of freaking out yet, but I'm definitely cautious. Very, very concerned about the potential here. Retesting volume on both. I mean, I would like to see this push through volume. I think sellers are looking good. I mean, I am a little concerned about these rejections here, so I'm not one for rejection. See if the NAS can crack below volume and see if the ES will follow it, or if we're just going to keep bouncing out of it. But got another bounce out of volume, still sitting at these prior highs. Just being patient with it. Patience could obviously kill me here, but you know. Going back, testing the highs on the ES. NAS is not following suit so far. NAS still sitting at volume, ES sitting above volume. Kind of holding out that the NAS is going to pull the ES down with it. So NAS flipping red again. Still sitting at volume. Still sellers coming in over here on the NAS. We cracked below volume very momentarily over here on the NAS. So we're just waiting to see if we can get a quick flush over here on the NAS and seeing if the ES will follow it. So these buyers are being stubborn. Are currently being stubborn though. So and again, rejection at the prior high. NAS sitting right at volume, had a pretty heavy close there. We'll see if it can get a bounce out of it. NAS is looking like it wants to pump out of this, but being patient still. There's that flush on the NAS below volume. Seeing if the ES will follow. Quick move below volume on the NAS. ES went back, tapped volume, and kind of bounced out of it again. NAS with a quick bounce as well. NAS moving back above volume, not a good sign. Still sitting in the 90s over here on the NAS, so this is definitely not the most ideal situation, but we are being very, very, very patient with this. This is about as patient as you will ever see me be. It hasn't really I haven't seen like something to confirm that I need to absolutely get out of this. I like the rejections at the top of the range. I like that the NAS has good sellers, keeps cracking below volume. I think I'm seeing a lot of good things on this move so far. Truly, I'm just waiting for it to develop. So we just filled another one over here on the NAS really quickly for about 3 or 4 points. So waiting to see if we can get below volume here. See if we can start moving into volume on the ES, or if we're just going to keep bouncing out of it. I don't like holding positions into the top of the hour. Top of the hour tends to be pretty volatile, so but we are sitting below volume on the NAS, so that I think is a good sign for us so far. ES sitting above volume though, so they're telling two different stories right now, that's for sure. I'm liking Delta on both the NAS and the ES right now. I like how it looks. ES is going to retest those highs. It's not a very good looking candle for me, to be completely honest. I would like for these to close red, but that's not looking like it's going to be the case. We got 30 seconds on this candle. See if we can get a good strong close on it. Alright, let's see how the top of the hour treats us. NAS is pumping. ES going back to those prior highs. Like I said, I'm going to kill it if we crack these prior highs, but if we keep bouncing off of them, I'm not going to kill it quite yet. So they both went and retested those prior highs again. So far, bouncing off of them. Yep, there they go. Yep. Yep. Yep, that didn't work out. That's okay. That's how it be sometimes. So, I mean, we're just going to have to be a little bit cautious moving forward today. You know, there's a lot of things probably wrong with all that. I probably should have killed it when it cracked above volume here at 41 initially. I did like how Delta was looking on the NAS. But, you know, top of the hour came through. We had a ton of buyers come in. I like that the NAS cracked below volume, but it just didn't hold up. So that's how it be sometimes. That was one of those trades. You know, I wasn't trading with the trend. Something always good to keep in mind is to make sure you're trading. You know, it's obviously safe to trade with the trend, but that's okay. No biggie. My screen completely froze. Let's get us back here. Alright. Did have a really good rejection there at the prior high though. I mean, we're gonna see if we can get some good quick scalps to kind of supplement what we just lost there, but you know, we might end up red today. No biggie. That's how it is sometimes. So the daily drawdown that I can see is $1,000 on the Topstep Combine. I'm gonna kill that, just get a little bit back there. So I'm not gonna be doing anything too terribly crazy for the rest of this. We got some good volume coming in up here up the 20s. We're definitely not gonna be doing anything too crazy probably for the rest of this. We're sitting down 798 on the day. Still in the green for the combine, no biggie. But it cannot lose more than 1,000 in a day during this process. So we're definitely going to be keeping we're going to be keeping everything pretty tight for the most part. That's a pretty, I don't know why that didn't go through, but so let's go ahead and look at the hour chart, see where we're at right now. So we are working through these prior highs. If they do, that's a great sign. If they do, I mean, we're looking for movement up into the 700s if we do crack through these. So let's see. Yeah, we're going to be keeping these spreads pretty tight for the most part. That was an example of I'm not the best at reading into the price action itself. I mean, the reason for this is, I mean, I saw it crack below volume. It moved back up into volume right there at that prior wick, so I took the short. And it just didn't have any pullback after it cracked below volume. So we had a really strong opening candle, really strong red opening candle. You know, I anticipated the move back into volume. Sellers looked good, but, you know, whatever. Buyers came in, so that's just how it is sometimes. But, yeah, I mean, it was just a move that didn't work out. I don't think the entry itself was bad, but I do think that I could have exited and saved myself a little bit much earlier than I did. So yeah, definitely could have saved myself a little bit. Moving up into 40s here. You know, the top of this level sitting in the 590s, almost 600. So if we could get this rotation back up to 600, that'd be awesome. I don't know if that's, you know, the most guaranteed thing in the world, but quick scalp. There you go. That was a quick 40 bucks right there. It gives us a little bit of cushion. That's kind of what we're going for. So, the you know, I'm not exactly thrilled with the position that we're in currently, but you know, there's definitely a way to figure this out, right? Good rejection there at the 45 level, so moving back down into the 30s, sending out volume. This one, you know, might be a quick fill, so or not. I mean, I was anticipating it was sitting like right at volume, so I figured it'd have a little bit more of a pullback there, but looks like that might have been the wrong move. Yep. Okay. Well, nope. Today's just one of those days, which, you know, it happens. So, I mean, I guess I could have held it a little bit longer, but I'm gonna place one pretty much right at that same spot. See if we can get it to fill this time. No, well, nope, we can't. So, all right, no biggie. Today obviously didn't go well at all. No, that's fine. Luckily, we didn't have any viewers on today's stream, so we're chilling for the most part. No, today just, I don't know. I wasn't really thinking anything through too well. So here's what we do here. So, I mean, we're sitting down about 1,000 on the day. You know, which obviously isn't the best case scenario. But, you know, today just wasn't, you know, I wasn't listening to myself or any of my personal rules. So it's always good to sort of follow your own set of rules. Always some good advice. If you have rules in place, follow your rules. And one of the rules that I broke today was that I made a trade against the trend, which is obviously something that I made a long trade against the trend, right? So, I mean, there might have been some logic backing it up, sure, but here, let me get back here. I mean, there might have been some logic backing it up for sure. I mean, what we had was, I mean, we had this big opening candle here below that ripped below volume. You know, the NAS made its way to VWAP. We had this push back into volume, and I took the short somewhere in here. And it just ripped right through it, right? But I mean, there were plenty of opportunities for me to get out of the trade. So that's a good example of one, holding on to a trade too long, but two, I mean, the trend, if you're looking at all these, like, the trend is very well established uptrend, right? This right here was a good signal for me to go long over here on the NAS. So I should have taken that for what it's worth. That's typically fairly accurate. It's fairly accurate when everything sort of agrees with it, right? So you're right. You know, the arrow or the indicator came in when we were somewhere around here, and you know, and even like the RSI was indicating, you know, up above it. You know, the Nasdaq Delta chart was looking pretty heavy at the start of the day. That was kind of what I was looking at the most. But I mean, if you come look at the ES chart, the ES has been pretty much going straight up since you know, the close of the opening range. So I definitely was not looking at that as much as I was looking at this. I mean, I saw both of them crack below volume on the opening range, and I let that kind of dictate my whole decision. But I did have opportunities to get out of that trade, so no biggie. The beauty of this is you can reset your accounts. So we had to do our first account reset, which, you know, no biggie. You learn from these. So we're sitting again right at day one. We're sitting with a 50K account. So again, it's the important thing is that we're going to be learning through this together. Like I said from the beginning, I'm not a professional. I'm not, you know, I'm trying to figure this out just as much as other people are. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I got people sending me shit on. Now, someone's sending me like motivational videos. I don't need that shit. So if you just tuned in,
you just heard me say that today has not been a very good day, which is okay. Good or bad, we need to learn from these. So we'll see if we can catch something before I get off in about 15 minutes. So, but you know, today just wasn't. Yeah, the good thing to learn, good thing to note about all this is I'm still green on the week. Um, Today was obviously a pretty big losing day, but for the week we are still up, um, which is something to keep in mind. Like this is obviously a combine account, and this is all basically a simulation. I'm basically auditioning for a role with this firm, and um, we're trying out for a role with this firm, and um, it is good to note that long-term results, I am still green, very green. I'm still up like good 400 or 500 bucks on the week. So like, um, yeah, today wasn't the prettiest of days. But if I was trading on my own account, I would be up still. I just broke the rules of this combine, which is unfortunate. So, um, no biggie. I would like to get a trade in though before I leave, just because we'll call today day one, and that would give us 4 more days after today to get through the combine, or to get through the first step of the combine. So today's Thursday, so 5 days from today would be Tuesday. So I could still theoretically be finished with the whole thing by next Friday, which I've did that the first time I passed this combine. I finished it in about, it took me, after I had finally figured out how I was going to approach it, it took me 8 days to finish it. Um, I mean, it's obviously, setting a goal for next Friday is very doable. I didn't play, trades like that on the S&P 500 before. Um, I'm definitely new. I'm definitely still kind of experimenting with those types of trades. It's just not something that I'm particularly great at. Um, and I just completely, I mean, I read everything, but I interpreted it the way that I wanted to, which just isn't the right way to go about it. So, um, always just read it for what it is. Don't try to change your interpretation just to benefit yourself. So, just lessons to be learned. Um, Not too upset about it. Could have been better. Could have been worse. Like I said, long term we're still green, but I mean this is very clearly an established uptrend. So I should have never been in that position in the first place. So, um, so looking at the hour chart, we're slowly cracking through these prior levels of resistance. Like I said, we cracked through these. I mean, we're sitting. I mean, I don't see any reason, anything that's really stopping it from getting up into the 700s, uh, which means that inflation's over, or the recession's over. So congratulations, everyone, you survived it. Um, but I the way that this is going, it looks like we're probably going to get through these. We're probably going to get through the 600s and move our way up into the 700s. So, which is cool. It's very cool. We love to see it. If you are tuning in, please feel free to follow my Twitch channel, and also feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel at True2. There's 7 U's in that. TRUUUUUU2. 7 U's. See, we're not ashamed of winners or losers. If we lose, we lose. If we win, we win. It's always better to win. But, we're not going to, I'm not going to mislead you all to think that every single day is a winner. Obviously, eventually I'm going to be doing this all with my own money, right? I'm going to be doing this with my own account. I'll be able to do things the way that I want. I don't have to follow someone's rules to be able to do it. Um, and that's the biggest downfall of these combines is I'm stubborn and I like to break rules. So today we broke a rule. Like I said, we're still green on the week, but broke a rule, had to reset for the combine, so we're back to phase beginning of step one. Um, so it'd be like that. We got about 10 minutes left on the stream, so I don't know. You guys got any big plans this weekend? There's a few of you watching right now, so I would like some good energy to come through right now. If you don't post in the chat, you are obligated to follow me though. Also, donation tab is set on the channel. All of that goes to my mother. As you guys saw probably on the news, St. Louis floods were not to be messed around with. My mom lost pretty much everything during that, so if you do feel so inclined to use that tab, it all goes to her. Unfortunately, we can't afford to. Me and the brothers cannot front the cost of all of that ourselves, but you know, Tesla concert at State Fair Friday night. Good. Very nice. Tesla concert at State Fair. Where even is the State Fair? Is that Vandalia? Is that where that is? Also, Big Trader, I was told that 69 is the year that you were born, so I apologize for being a bit of a jackass the other day. That being said, I'm a girl. Sedalia, that's right, the other Alia. Um, okay, cool. I didn't even know the State Fair was this week. So, okay. Tesla concert. Correct. Okay. Well, I I got a text from Wes after the fact, said, "Hey, just so you know, that was the year he was born." That's not like a funny joke. I was like, "Well, I'm a I'm a bit of a child, so um, you know, uh, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still think it's funny. It's just, now it's funny for a different reason. So it's a good rejection up here at the. Like I said, we never cracked these prior highs. We're sitting pretty much right at them. It's a pretty good rejection there, though. Interested to see how if this candle continues closing the way that it is. Because the trend for today is that I like going against the trend for some reason. So let's see where the ES is. The ES is still got a ways to go, but I mean, if we are to continue in the downtrend, this will be a good place for it to restart again. Man, oh man. So do you stream when you do your oil and gold trading, or is that just something you do personally? I mean, you have a Twitch channel. That's the main reason I'm asking. I assume most people don't stream it, but there you go. Good flush off those highs. If Twitch. Hey, I don't know if you have Twitch. I don't know if I don't know how much you're gonna learn from me, uh, but I do appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, this is all. Like I said, I'm still pretty new to all of this, so we're slowly learning how all of this works. Oh, good for you, former Goldman Sachs trader. I wish I wish I had someone just kind of, I guess, teaching me how to go about all of this. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to kind of just learn by experience. I told Wes, I was like, if you want, it's like I would rather you learn from someone who has lost thousands doing it the wrong way than to lose all that money yourself. So if you were to do something like this, but no, I wish that I would have been a little bit a little bit more or a little bit less reckless at the beginning. It was just kind of like the way I saw it is like I'm only gonna make money if I enter the market. So it was just kind of like I didn't really care where I entered the market. I just felt like I needed to, and that was definitely a mistake from the beginning. Not the best way to go about it. So let's see. I could have probably um I'd say we probably could have anticipated this move up here. I mean, like I've said before, the 80s and 20s are just kind of like I don't know, they're like targets, right? So we got this move up into, just below the 80s. So we're sitting at 75 and it's literally just been straight down, bounced off that level and then back down to now we're sitting just above the 20 right at the bottom of the 30s. Um and I don't really know why that's the case, but that is something that traders kind of trade good and bad sometimes. Yeah, today's bad. That's okay. It's a Thursday. Thursdays are I don't know. Thursdays and Fridays are always a little bit weird. Um, Sometimes like Monday and Tuesday, I will sometimes pick up some like afternoon orders or do some like late night trading. Wednesdays, I don't like to even look at Wednesdays, but Thursdays and Fridays are definitely morning session kind of days, and I typically play them pretty cautiously. The movement's just different on Thursdays and Fridays. I can't really explain it. It all goes like against everything that I think is going to happen on Thursdays and Fridays. The opposite always happens, and that's always been sort of a trend. Um, I don't know. Like I said, learning experience. But yeah, I mean, this was the exact rotation here. Made it up into the high 70s, bounced off into the 20s. So, um, man, we're sitting literally right at that area of resistance. So I mean, gave us even more reason to to consider that short. But yeah, definitely was not paying attention the way that I should have been. So this is very comforting though to see all this movement. I was worried about the CPI yesterday because I mean we did end up retracing it for the most part. Where even was the CPI? Where are we at? We're right here. Oh, excuse me, I completely misread that. We never retraced it. So I mean, here's the CPI right here. Yesterday it was at 7:30 a.m. I mean, I was definitely concerned that we might retrace it, but yeah, never budged, cracked the prior highs, and say moved pretty seamlessly up into up into the 500s. Say this is one of those situations too. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if we got a good bounce out of the 20s. But I don't know. After that little blunder earlier, I'm a little bit hesitant right now. So yeah, we're sitting right in volume too. So we can go ahead and kill those for now. Got a quick bounce there. We might have a bit of a wick test at play here. I mean, the ES wick's sitting right here at volume. NAS is sitting a little bit above volume, but good rejection here at volume. And so it's usually what the wick test is good for. Is good for a quick bounce and a few points. Yeah, we'll see. We'll kind of see how everything reacts here. It's sitting at volume, but I mean, I would like to see it go through the 20s down to these to the low 500 level. ES is getting a good push out of this. So you're not seeing a ton of buyers come in quite yet. Moving up into the 40s. This was what I was talking about, that quick bounce out of the 20s though. Good rejection there, going back below volume. You do have some good sellers coming in on the ES as well. See if we can get a good bounce out of this. I hate that these reset every time. every time I turn them off, they just reset completely, and I have to reset them, which just kind of annoys me a little bit. Going a little bit longer than typically, so lots of staring, not a lot to talk about right now, but I'm really just kind of waiting to see how it reacts here at volume. I imagine we're gonna make this move up into the 50s. I'm kind of anticipating maybe a small bounce, but at the same time too, like this level down here at, in the low 500s just seems like a reasonable place for this to fall down to as well. So I don't know. I'm kind of just waiting for one or the other. Looks like we're making this move up. Let's see, we're through 45. Crack that prior high. Again, I mean, another delta divergence, kind of indicating a short position, but the NAS is pretty consistent right now. Some good buyers coming in. I don't know why I just keep wanting to short today, even though I definitely probably should not. But yeah, there's that good bounce out off that 50 level though. Yeah, I keep wanting to take shorts, but I mean, if you were on earlier, you saw that I got very much so wrecked taking a shorting against the trend. There's that bounce off 50 though, man. That would have played out pretty well, wouldn't it? See what happens down here at volume. Good sellers coming in on the ES though. I mean, retesting the 20s again. Like I said, like I've been kind of anticipating this move down to like the low fives. I'm gonna kind of place this one a little bit tighter just to see how it reacts. But if we do crack below the 20s, I would like to see this move down into down like 505. I wish I would have gotten in up here at, up at that 50 level, but as you can see, I was a little bit scared of it, so it has not been a friendly market for me today. But I definitely need to be, I mean, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm good at recognizing like good positions to enter. Um, but I typically am hesitant to do it, especially after like after days like today. I mean, obviously that short that I took earlier on the ES just did not go anywhere near according to plan. Um, so it obviously doesn't help that I got absolutely wrecked earlier taking that short, but let's see if we can get that flush down to the low fives. And say we're going for about 10 points here. So like I said, I wish like I called this one out pretty correct. Like that was literally like a tick below where I was considering entering. I mean, it's like I said that that level. Yep, there it fills. Um, so I mean, the way that I saw this was just we're obviously the things that I'm looking at the most are going to be like this delta curve, um, and then just these pockets of volume, right? So what I saw here was we had this little bit of volume started to develop up here in the 50s, just that little peak right there. We're sitting right there at that prior wick after cracking through it, after bouncing off the prior high. So we double topped here, bounced off the prior high. So I was anticipating that move back to that prior wick, where there was a little bit more volume being conducted and then bouncing out of it. And there we are down at the low fives. The reason the low fives were the target is because that was sort of the top of the volume. Here it's also the top of these prior candles here. So these candles I'm anticipating will act as sort of an prior or as an area of support. Granted, it did just bounce straight through those, but I was targeting these as sort of that area of support, right where the volume begins to pick up. So I figured that'd be a safe place to get out. But yeah, that 50 to 0 move definitely would have been a good area to capitalize. I mean, my intentions are never to grab the whole move. I always just want to grab portions of the move. So I grabbed 13 points out of about a 50-point move. Yeah, it would be ideal to get a little bit more than that. It's just I don't have the experience nor I guess the expertise to comfortably make decisions like that. But I mean, that would have played out pretty much perfectly. I mean, everything there pretty much played out exactly how I thought it would. So whatever. Like I said, this is the first day of the combine. Today didn't go very well. Broke one of the rules that they have, which is just unfortunate. Important things to know. If this was my own account, still green on the week. Losing days happen. Best not to get discouraged by them. That being said, if I'm going to be using someone else's money, I have to follow someone else's rules. So that was a good bounce off VWAP there as well. So I have to follow someone else's rule. I didn't follow their rules, so reset the account today. It was the first reset on the account since we restarted. So that's unfortunate. That being said, like I said, the first time I did the combine and passed it, I had to reset a couple times early on. Whenever I figured out a system that worked for me, it took me 8 days to get through the whole thing. So I'm hoping at this rate we can get through it with that rate we should be able to get through it by next Friday. Hopefully setting up the first day of a funded account the following Monday. If you guys do appreciate the analysis, like I said, feel free to follow the Twitch channel, follow the YouTube channel as well. I do repost the streams on the YouTube channel. Eventually I'll figure out how to edit videos, or I'll have someone edit the videos for me, and they'll be a little bit easier to watch. But the whole stream is posted on YouTube at True2. That's 7 U's and then a 2, TRUUUUUU2. Follow me on Instagram, or not on Instagram, on Twitter. It's at _True2. yeah, donation tab below is all for my mom. So if you guys do want to dive in there as well, feel free. That's always much appreciated. Um, yeah, but that's all we got today. I'm gonna go ahead and get this uploaded to YouTube. There's a chance the stream does not happen tomorrow. I do have a friend coming into town tonight. Um, I will. I am anticipating not having a stream tomorrow. So, um, assume that it's not going to happen unless I post otherwise. But yeah, that's all we got for you guys today. So appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys either tomorrow or Monday, most likely Monday. So take care. Have a good weekend.